How are you doing?
Thanks for having me. I'm very well. Happy New Year.
Yeah, same to you. We haven't spoken this year.
I haven't spoken. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thanks so much for making time to join us this morning. So I'll start in studio with you.
Okay.
I'll say. So I mean, a lot of people, when we talk about leisure, they don't exactly understand what it means. Maybe we can start a conversation from there. When we talk about leisure, what is leisure?
Okay. I would say, leisure is a way that the mind resets itself. So, as a student, as a worker, you go through a lot of processes to, get things done. So I think it's just important, just as, a car needs servicing, it's important for, the human also to have its own maintenance schedule. So, for we to even call an activity leisure, it has to have certain elements.
Right.
And these elements, it has to be voluntary. It has something you choose. Because, what would be leisure for me might not be leisure for you.
For you, right.
And it has to be, psychologically freeing. And it has to be restorative. So, if these things are in play, that's what you can call an activity.
Okay.
Or, whatever it is that you're doing to calm down, you can label it as a leisure. So, yes. So, and, it's people really see leisure as a waste of time. But honestly, it's something that really should be part of our day-to-day activities. So I believe that if we understand the role leisure plays in our everyday life, it's going to really help us
Help
in
a
the
lot of
long
people.
run. Yes.
Right. So, what are some of the activities that people typically do during their leisure time? I mean, when we were kids, we used to hear leisure time I don't know about you, but in my junior high school, primary school, basically, we had a time where we called leisure time. What are some of the typical things that people do or should do during their
Okay,
leisure
so
time?
I would say that with leisure, it's actually it's different for everybody, honestly, because what I would say leisure for me might not be leisure for you. For
Exactly.
example, I could say that someone's leisure could be like solving puzzles, but for someone it's going to be mentally draining. That wouldn't be classified as a leisure. And for someone who would be like taking flights and taking trips, someone is very anxious of flying, so
Right.
that can be classified as a leisure. So I think I would say that leisure is should be something that you uniquely feel calm when you engage in. You understand? So I can't put. I can't say this. Reading a book or maybe taking a walk or maybe taking a stroll it's a leisure should be
Yeah.
leisure generally. But then
Right.
I think it's unique for everyone. Honestly, personally, my leisure would be swimming or maybe taking a stroll.
Okay.
But then it might not be the same for other people. Someone would just want to maybe solve a puzzle or maybe play loud music in his room. I also enjoy karaoke a lot, so that is one leisure for me as well. So I think leisure is very unique and it depends on the individual, honestly. I think you need to understand yourself and know your leisure,
Right.
and be able to escape the realities and the hardship of life and engage in them occasionally. Yeah,
Great.
that's what
Also, I'm going to come back to you shortly, but let me come to Na Okanle. Now, maybe you may want to add your voice to that. Maybe you want to top up what Osei has said in terms of what leisure is and what activities actually make up leisure.
Thank you very much. Good morning to my colleague in the studio and to everyone listening. So Osei has already set the stone, and I just want to add on by saying that leisure is or are intentional activities. I think he mentioned something relating to that, but it's something you intentionally set out to do that restores you not only physically, but also restores you emotionally and cognitively. Now, you will want to know that when we are aroused, now that we are awake, we are working, we are going about all our activities, your nervous system, which is where almost your entire function as a human being is wired, is highly activated around this time of the day. So if you keep going without having to reset your nervous system from time to time, that is where we are exposing ourselves to burnout and all the other conditions that we're talking about. So it is really important that at the end of every day, you unwind and reset your system. Now, when you come to the things that we do that identifies as leisure, the first thing or the primary things that your body needs is also very important. And one of them is sleep. Sleep is for everybody. So whether you like to sleep or not, you will still sleep. Your body is conditioned to sleep. So one of the primary things that your body considers as leisure is sleep, because that is the only time your mind and your body get to repair themselves. So even if you don't know how to do anything, then it means you need to start looking at how to prioritize your sleep and making time for quality sleep, especially at the end of the day. You can see yourself like a car. Let's take ourselves as a car, for example, because the human body is some form of a machine too. Imagine now you are at work, your car is at the car park, but your engine is still running. You haven't turned off your engine, you just got out of your car. Now you close from work, you get into your car, move to your house, you park your car, but you don't turn off your engine. And it goes on all through the night. In the morning, the same thing happens, and over again, over and over and over again. It's just a matter of time your engine is going to crash.
It will break down.
And that is what happens to the human body. It's only because the human body has been built in such a way that it is working to keep you from dying. So it will give you room, it will give you ample time, hoping that you do right until it can no longer hold space for you, and then it will give up on you. So when we talk about leisure, the primary focus should be on resting your body.
Okay.
Now, the other activities, which could include the fun things or the less stimulating activities that also restore our bodies, like my colleague mentioned, traveling and all those other things.
Yeah.
It is also specific to everybody, and it starts with self-awareness, knowing yourself and knowing what identifies with you. What are the things that you do or you engage in that actually restore you away from work? There are people who leave work to go back to work. You go home with your laptop, you go home with your phone, and even though you are at home, you are still working. So even your home is not the place for rest for you. Now you have to identify and build systems that establish that relationship between work and rest.
Right.
And that's that level of intentionality that we need to have when we are talking about leisure or rest.
I see. We're going to touch on some of the things that you've mentioned very soon. But I realize that a lot of young people, or a lot of professionals generally, actually feel guilty resting because sometimes maybe there's work to be done and you're resting. Why is that so? Nah.
Let's go back to the example of the car. If there's work to be done, but you are constantly overstimulated, it's just a matter of time. Your brain's ability to continue being productive will begin to decline. If you don't give your brain room to rewire itself, to repair itself, to reinstate itself, to give you more capacity to work, you are just doing more harm than good to your brain.
Right.
If anything happens to you, this is one thing I constantly tell the new generation of workers and all of us on the move. If anything happens to you today, the world will move on like you never existed. So it's up to you to make sure that you are making your mind and your body work for you as much as you are also working for the things that you are chasing. Because if you are not resting, if you are not establishing that, that time, that this time is for work, this time is for rest, then you are just running on autopilot. You are constantly stimulating your survival and stress system to be constantly active. So your body is constantly in flight or fight mode. And that can also lead to other conditions beyond even your brain health. Now, because the brain is constantly active, your heart is also making sure that the brain doesn't crash. So it is pumping more blood than it should even pump.
Right.
Now,
So
when that is also stimulated, the blood begins to release more sugars, glucose, which is the energy that we use to work, than it should.
now you may want to hold on for us a bit. We're going to talk about what exactly happens to you. I just want us to frame the conversation very well. So I want to understand why some people feel guilty when they're resting. Let me throw that question to us in studio and see if he'll be able to help us with that.
So, some of the ways, I believe that I think it's societal or psychological, or let's say individualistic reasons. So, societal because, there's this hustle culture that we sort of glorify upward mobility. Like if you see someone, going here and there, roaming about, like, hey, like you're doing well.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we can't equate movement to productivity, honestly. Because someone can be very busy, but he's not really getting things done. So I think we should understand that we actually perform our best when we are well relaxed. So I think it's that culture of like that hustle, like, hey, I need to go here, I need to do this. Then you say that you call someone, I'm busy, like, hey, Charlie, you're really doing well, though. I can see you are doing things, but then like there's not really any good outcome to show for it. But I think it's that hustle culture can be part of it, and also the individualistic side, or let's say the psychological side is, for most high achievers, they can't, I don't know, they can't stand but like being idle or being relaxed. They feel that they have to keep moving. The moment they pause to maybe take a rest, they feel like, why am I resting when like there's A, B, C, D to done? I think they are not able to delegate tasks well to people to handle them. So I think, most of the time it's basically due to, these societal factors. And I think I also say that economy is also part. In this part
Very
of the world, there's a lot
important.
of things that you need to do.
Yeah.
You'll be there and they'll call you that your grandma in the village has swallowed a shovel, so you need to send money. So, there's a lot of things that makes that like want to. You think about these things that you need to get done, and you feel that, rest is a luxury, which is not. But then, so you feel guilty by just being idle, not doing anything. So I think it's these societal and
and also the narrative of sleep is for the weak, because now I was talking about sleep as one of the things that that helps us rejuvenate. Yes, but people say sleep is for the weak, and could that be one of the reasons why people feel guilty?
I really don't know where that came from, but then if you look at the 24 hours in a day, it's divided into three. So eight for work. The average corporate person works 8 hours a day. 8 hours is for other activities, which should include some leisure, and 8 hours is specifically for sleep. So if you want to perform at your optimal, you need to sleep at least 8 hours a night, honestly. There's no way around it. I've heard a lot of entrepreneurs, founders, a lot of people out there saying that you can't be sleeping like for 8 hours a day.
Exactly, I hear
if
that
you want
a lot.
money. But honestly, like the research release speaks against it. The data out there speaks against that. So rest is a very essential part of our day-to-day activities. We need to have that sleep, not just even. There are companies here, companies like Google. I think they've come to realize the importance of sleep. That they've built, nap pods, where people can work for a while, even in between work hours. They can also go and take some short naps, short breaks, and come back and continue work. So sleep is a very, as Na said, it's a very vital part of leisure. That runs across. It's not like say, oh, me, I don't like you need to sleep. You have to sleep. It's a high requirement. Yes.
Right. Is it possible to be busy and still mentally rested, or the two of them clash? I don't know if you get the question.
I think I get you. To be busy. So here's the thing. There's one thing. This Chinese philosopher said, Confucius. He was like, if you find the work you love, you never work a day in your life. And I think that is because you find leisure in your work. There are a lot of people that don't really like what they are doing. Right? The people I've spoken to, but then there's other people that really love what they do, so they find their work as leisure. There's someone who's probably in the travel and tour business, and he travels a lot, and he loves to travel. So he sort of found a way to combine leisure and work as one. So you see him busy, but he's still enjoying what he's doing. So it becomes some sort of form of leisure for the person. Then there are other people that are, I have to do this because I need the funds. So it's not really like that leisure. So they need to have a break from whatever activity that is really like having a toll on their stress, and go get some leisure time. So I think with what you're saying, I think that's actually possible to find that balance between what you do and enjoying it as you do it.
Because I enjoy what I do here. So when I'm doing it,
yes, and it won't be stressful for you as someone who's been, let's say, forced or let's say compelled due to economical factors to maybe like mow a lawn, or maybe do some sort of coding, but it isn't something he really loves. So yeah, I think that also.
Right. Okay. Well, exactly 20 minutes after 9. This is the Business Breakfast on Z101.9 FM. If you just tuned in, this morning we're having a conversation on the power of leisure in restoring your mind and your body. And my guest that will say, Safo. I hope I got that right. He is an organizational psychologist, and I also have Na Okanle Okainte, she's also a psychologist and also a mental health advocate. These are the two individuals I'm talking with. You can feel free to join us on the conversation. Send us a WhatsApp on 0544321019, 0544321019, and I'll read your messages for you. You can also call us on 030395664 030395664, and we'll give you the opportunity to ask your questions this morning. You can also drop a comment under our live stream. We're on Facebook at ZFMGH and also on YouTube at Z Multimedia. Engage us on those platforms and we'll read your messages for you. Now, let me come back to you now. Now, you were talking about what exactly happens to you in your body and also in your mind when you don't rest. Maybe you can continue that particular one for us.
Okay. I think I was trying to establish that the connectivity between the mind and the body is that synchronized in such a way that when the mind or the brain is over aroused, it also has effect on all your major organs. And I was talking about how your heart receives that pressure or that information, and you will have to supply much more blood to keep you activated and stimulated over the period you are. Now, as that happens, your blood sugar levels will also have to increase to make room for you to have more energy to work at that level, especially if you are working all around the clock. It's just a matter of time, your heart will start feeling the pressure. And if you are predisposed to any of the physiological conditions we know, hypertension, diabetes, kidney problems, and co, that is where you are going to expose yourself to that danger or those harms, especially if you have family histories of some of these conditions. So it will just start with you not allowing your body to rest, but by the time you realize all your major organs are beginning to feel the heat, and you have to now deal with physiological conditions, which will make it difficult for you to do the work that has been making it difficult for you to rest. And I usually tell people that health and well-being is in such a way that if you don't pay today, you pay tomorrow. And if you don't pay in cash, you pay in kind. Today, you may just have your leeway, and then your body creates the room, the threshold for you to continue, for lack of a better word, abusing it. But it's just a matter of time. The rest you are struggling not to have, you will fall sick, we will detain you at the hospital and we will force you to rest. Or an illness that will make it difficult, long lasting, like a stroke, where now you can no longer use your motor skills to even function, and you've lost the ability to work, and you've lost the quality of life that you're looking for. So it's really important that we allow our bodies from time to time, even in the course of the day, the 8 hours that Osei mentioned, in the course of the day, I encourage that every 2 hours, get off behind your seat, take a deep breath, go out, breathe, speak to colleagues, say hello to people, go and drink water, go and wee. If you need to go and poo, and come back to your seat. Have a breather between every 2 hours. Don't allow yourself to be overstimulated, because we say, oh yeah, work for 8 hours. You are constantly behind your screens for 8 hours. Studies are also showing that the overexposure to the screens are also increasing cortisol levels, which is our stress hormone. And the more cortisol levels are saturated in your system, the more the quality of health is going to decline over time. So we need to really pay attention to our health, our well-being, and what we are doing to our bodies.
Right. Now, you were mentioning some of the health conditions that can rise up or can rise when you don't rest. I think I had diabetes, I had stroke. Which other ones can you mention?
There's hypertension.
Hypertension.
Diabetes. You can start having brain folds. So you are almost forgetful. You open the fridge and you've forgotten why you opened the fridge. You are looking for something. It's right under your nose, but you can't find what you are looking for.
But that
ransacked your entire room.
Now that particular thing happens to children too. Sometimes I send my nephews and my niece to get me water, and they are taking it to somebody else. Are they also stressed?
Children have their own forms of stress, and children are easily distracted. The average child is not always able to hold attention beyond 15 minutes. They are easily distracted. But in adult life, when your brain is oversaturated with work that is draining your mind, that is where you're experiencing brain fog. So for children, it could be attention and they are distracted with play and all of that. But for adults, there are signs of brain fog. And over time, your attention span is going to reduce, even paying attention or the fine details. You realize that now you're making mistakes here and there. Studies is even showing that it is making us more predisposed to dementia. So first, dementia was for people in maybe their 70s or 80s, but we are beginning to see people in their 40s, 50s beginning to have, decline in brain quality, leading to dementia and other conditions. And it's because currently this generation is the highest stress stressed generation, if I may say so.
Yeah,
Even research is beginning to back that.
that's true.
This current generation is the highest, is receiving the highest levels of stress. Because beyond the biological stress that our forefathers experienced, survival, what to eat, just go to work and come back home. Now we are having to deal with the digital stress. We are having to deal with the stress of technology and evolution. So beyond having what to eat and taking care of your basic needs, now the quality of life that you want to have, the level, the definition of success has changed. And that is also compounding to the levels of stress that this generation is beginning to experience.
Right.
Also, I talked about the hustling culture.
Yeah.
Now the hustling culture has changed. It's different from what our mothers or our grandmothers knew. What we know as hustling today is different, and it is a huge conversation that we need to decentralize and talk about, because it's over time it's going to affect us.
Over time, it's going to affect us. I see. So there are so many health conditions associated with failing to rest. We've heard of diabetes, we've heard of stroke, hypertension, and even dementia.
Problems,
Kidney problems?
insomnia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you realize that in our recent, a lot of young people are beginning to have kidney problems. The kidney is the organ that filters out toxins. And if you are loading your body with more toxins, your body is not resting so that you can get rid of those toxins. You are overworking your kidney, and by the time you realize your kidney is beginning to have kidney infections, kidney problems, kidney failure, kidney stones. In the last couple of months, I've seen so many people reporting kidney stones at the facilities, and it's alarming. And that is because we are not allowing our bodies to unwind, to get rid of the toxins that it has to do on a daily basis. So when these toxins compound, the other major organs will begin to suffer.
I see. Wow. Then this could be a major reason why, like you said, we are recording a lot of kidney cases and all of that. I've seen some young people who have been bedridden because of stroke and all of that, and it could be, and also because our world today, I think most of us we say we are nocturnal. Back in the day, our parents, once it's say 9 p.m., they are going to bed. But today, people can stay up to 1 a.m. and all of that, saying that they are working on things, they are doing all kinds of things. Meanwhile, they will go to work in the morning as well. And I think that is affecting us. But let me hear from Osei. Osei, do you have anything to add to what Nah has said?
Okay, so what I want to add is the fact that he mentioned that the digital pressure, the digital age now, that has increased the pressure on us. And I think one thing we should understand, that as humans we are social animals, okay, and we need to talk to ourselves. Like, we need to interact more with ourselves than with gadgets and with our phones and all those things, because the reason why stress is more relevant now than it was before. Before, trust me, like, there was more manual and hard work than now. There was nothing like remote work and all that. It was mostly like manufacturing in those days. But then the thing is that they were more sociable. They were more like there was more interaction, and more interaction really helps also reduce. Now I mentioned like cortisol levels, that's the stress hormone. So it helps regulate that. So if we're able to bond more with people, go out there, experience nature, not just be on our phones, not just be on our TikToks, our Facebooks. All these are just like pseudo social engagements. But if you're able to make time to speak to a friend, speak to our family, have a good time with actual people, not camera facing or screen facing people, I think that will also help a lot. Yeah.
All right. So now also talked about stress, and maybe I should have posed that question to her, but let me throw it to you.
Okay.
She talked about the fact that we get into stress as a result of failing to rest. I know of burnout as well. At what point does stress become burnout? First of all, are they different? Is it the same? And at what point does stress become burnout if they are different?
Okay, so I think it's some sort of a continuum. So I think it starts with fatigue. You get tired, then it builds up. To stress, then you come burnout. When you get to that point, you can't even concentrate. There are times that you can even forget the spelling of SIS. Honestly, I don't know if you've gotten to that level of stress.
I think in GHS, I was writing one particular exam, and I was spelling how.
So you get so you get so often you're like it's like you're so surprised at yourself, like, you know this well, how come it's not coming?
How,
you see, like these stress, like these burnout, it blocks like where the memory fetches this information from. That is why now mentioned that also affects your attention as well. So yes, it really affects the way we think, the way we make decisions. We become more reactive when we are stressed. We become more, irritable. Even emotionally, it really affects us. We become less empathic when we are stressed.
Wow.
So stress really, messes us up like real bad if we don't make out the time to have a leisure time in between our work and not even work, but even I think some students, or let me say in our academic circles, we should really find time off our books and maybe enjoy ourselves a bit, because I remember I actually made this. There's a time that I ran this informal research where I asked students how your studies were going, and if they had time to enjoy fun, and which semester did they really enjoy themselves. And I think I noticed a causality where the time they really had time to go out and have fun, that was the time that grades actually went up.
Wow.
And it went through, like, it was an informal thing I went around asking people, and I noticed that most of them that really made time to go out and have fun that semester, they had the best grades in that semester. So it's not all about compounding like hard work without, I think it's about time we see leisure as a foundation for sustainable productivity, than not like we shouldn't see it as a reward for productivity. So like I'll rest when I get a job done.
Okay.
But I should be able to rest in between like doing the jobs. So I think we should understand it.
Wow, I like that. Repeat that. You said that we shouldn't see rest as we should actually see it as a.
Okay, so leisure shouldn't be a reward after productivity.
Right.
But should be the foundation in which productivity becomes sustainable.
Yes. I like that quote. Probably write it somewhere. Okay, let me come to now. Now, do you have anything to add to that? He was talking about the stress moving to burnout. There are things that people ignore that might be. There are basic things that we ignore that could actually be signs of burnout. Maybe you can mention some, so that if there's anybody going through any of those things, they can know that they are probably getting closer to burnout, or maybe they are actually burnt out.
Okay, so my colleague already mentioned fatigue. If you realize that you are almost always tired, even after sleeping, you still feel like you just came back from a boxing fight, or like you've been beaten in your sleep, you still wake up with body aches, you still wake up feeling extremely tired. There's no amount of rest at that point of burnout that restores. And usually for burnout, we usually do a total checkup to repair the nervous system so that you can come back again into function. Now, when you end every day with headaches, there are people who take painkillers every day because at the end of the day, if they don't take a painkiller, they can't sleep because their head is seriously aching. If you are ending every day with headaches, that is your body talking to you that you are burning out. When you feel like you are on the edge, you are this close to crying, there are some points you feel like there's nothing happening, there's nothing significantly happening to you, but you feel like if anyone pushes you right now, you just let it out and cry. That is burnout speaking to you. And if you started experiencing problems in your sleep, so sleep is not flowing, it doesn't flow the full 8 hours or 6 hours minimum. You realize that you wake up constantly around 2 a.m., 2 a.m., and you can't sleep again. That is your body telling you that it's burning out. These are the common ones that people experience. If you don't pay attention to them, then now you start having physical illnesses, the joint pains, the backache, chronic backache that doesn't go. No amount of massage or aboniki is treating it. That is your body speaking to you. So we need to also listen to our bodies. We need to listen to ourselves. And that is why I mentioned self-awareness. When you know yourself, when something is happening, you pick it up quickly. When you realize that, this pattern has changed, this thing, I'm beginning to feel this way for some time now, then that is you becoming aware of those things and those changes. And then you catch them early enough before they escalate. So these are the common symptoms: the chronic headaches, the lack of flow in sleep, um, feeling chronic pain, chronic fatigue constantly, even after sleeping, or feeling like you are on the edge and you are this close to breaking down or crying.
I see. Now, there are people that actually spend time scrolling on their phones. And sometimes they say that as rest. And I was talking about that a while ago. I mean, my mom, I'm repeating that. My mom told me, I think on Tuesday or so we're talking, and she was like, "Oh, she's been resting." I was like, she was like, the whole of yesterday I didn't go anywhere. She was preparing to Monday. She didn't go anywhere. She was indoors the whole time and all of that. Meanwhile, she was actually on her phone. Does that qualify as a rest?
How long are you on your phone? That's one question. There are people who don't scroll, and by the time you realize 6 hours have come and you are on your phone. So even though you are not doing anything, like I said, there's research linking our overexposure to the screens to brain chemistry, where now the light from the screen is actually stimulating cortisol production. So you may be lying down, resting, in quotes, constantly on your phone, but your cortisol levels are rising. So you feel you've not done anything, but if you ask a lot of people, they still feel tired. I've been on my phone for 6 hours, but you realize that your eyes are aching. Now you are struggling to sleep. You are tossing and turning in bed. That's because your body is still registering high levels of stress, even though you are at zero function, zero activity state. So, not to say we shouldn't be on our phones, but we should regulate the time we are having behind our screens
So
and
what
what
is it?
we are consuming.
Right. So the time and also what you're consuming. What is a realistic time, or period that you can spend on your phone? I know 6 hours is too much, but what is a realistic time period that we can be on our phones?
If you are not working, if you being behind your phone is not part of your work, now we have virtual work. I'm joining this session virtually, so I'm
Yeah.
behind my screen. If that is not the case, and you are just catching crews online, a minimum or maximum of 45 minutes per session online, then you take some time out. Like Osai said, meet people, have physical contact, or do something that is less screen exposure. So read a book. We don't read anymore. The reading culture in Ghana is declining. Read, write, do the things that were conventional, but not behind the screens. Now, if you are working behind the screens, every 2 hours, take a break behind the screen. Every 2 hours, take a break. Like I said, go and pee, go and drink water. Say hello to your colleagues. If you are working from home, step out. Maybe pick a stroll from your junction to the next junction and come back.
And that will help you
Exactly. So it
rejuvenate.
helps the body, the brain zone out and then come back again to more like a recalibration for the brain.
Right.
And then you can continue, come back, expose the activity, and then take those breaks in between. So it also helps the mind to repair itself shortly in between within the intervals. So it's not consistently overstimulated.
Okay. All right. Okay. So it's very important to take some quick breaks and then just rejuvenate and get restored and come back to work. Well, exactly 20 minutes to the top of the hour. This is a business breakfast on Z101.9 FM with me, Nitra B. Hammond. And this morning we're talking about the power of leisure in restoring your mind and also your body. And we've learned so far that it is very important that you rest, because if you don't rest, there are certain health conditions that may arise, and hypertension is one of them. The reason why we're recording a lot of kidney issues is also one of them, and also the fact that there's also stroke, there's diabetes, and a lot of other health conditions if you fail to rest. And it's very important. Don't let anybody tell you that sleep is for the weak. That is what we're talking about this morning. So we'll be taking some intermittent rest. We're going to talk about some basic things that you can do. But if you just tuned into the conversation, you can join the conversation by sending us a WhatsApp on 0544321019, 0544321019. And of course, we'll give you the opportunity to be a part of the show. You can also call us on 03039566641, 03039566641. And also, you can engage us on our social media platforms. We're streaming live on Facebook at ZFMGH and also on YouTube at Z Multimedia. Please drop a comment there and we'll read your messages for you. My guest this morning, Osei Yalsafo. He is an organizational psychologist, and also Na Okainte. She's a psychologist and a mental health advocate. And these two individuals are helping us have a great conversation. Let me come back in studio now and talk to Yal. Osei. Yeah, Osei Safo. Safo. All right. So Osei, let me call you Osei like that. Okay. All right. So what are some basic things? I know everybody says that they are busy. What are some basic things that professionals can add to their schedules to be able to make time for leisure, or to be able to leverage as leisure?
Okay. So I think one of the things that you should do is that you need to, define what's you deem fit as leisure. Personally, I think we already established the fact that leisure could mean different things for different people.
Okay.
So you need to understand, what leisure means to you, first of all. So, and I think I mentioned some elements of leisure, that it needs to be psychologically freeing, it needs to be restorative, and also it needs to be voluntary. It needs to be something you have chosen that, okay, this thing calms me down, this thing helps me relax.
All right.
So I think the first thing you should do is to define what leisure means to you. Then also, one of the things we can also do is to set digital boundaries.
Okay.
For work, if let's say, you work the regular 9 to 5. After 5, you can put your phone, your work phone off. You should stop going to check on your email. You have closed for the day. Whatever it is, you can attend to the next morning. No one is going to die, hopefully. So I think. But
it's not, sometimes, sometimes leaders of organizations don't really like that they've sent an email and you didn't respond.
Okay, so I'll come to that. So okay. I think the first thing I should have said was that model leadership. It starts from the top.
Right.
Okay, so I think as leaders, because most of the time you call someone like 7, 8 p.m. He's still like that. I'm like, oh, I'm still here. What are you doing? Oh, my boss is still here, so I can't leave. I think that should not even fair, because the boss can even decide to take the next day off, but you still have to come to work tomorrow. So I think it start from the top. If leadership, you are supposed to involve policies that really take into consideration leisure is really going to go a long way to help a lot of people. Besides, a lot of companies are doing it. I know of Google, I know of Cisco. I think Nike are also doing it, where I said they build some sort of pods for people to rest in between time. So if we make that, we add leisure to our policies as businesses, as organizations, it's really going to go a long way to not only help employees but also increase productivity, which research actually shows. So yes, I'm coming to the fact of setting boundaries. Right. Yes. So there's time for work and there's time for everything. You have to there's work, there's sleep. Because I think I have a friend who works as a cloud engineer outside. So what he does, I think he has this form of pager. So at any point in time, you need to be active. So it can be 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Once a ticket comes, you need to get up and I respond. I'm like, how can you do this?
How can
you do this job? And the thing is that people like to trade. It's a cloud engineer, it's a good paying job, and they like to trade their health for for money. But as I said, you're going to pay it either in cash or in kind in the future.
Later.
So you think that you're enjoying your life. You're getting more money, but at the end of the day, it's really affecting you like health wise. So a person is going to come, a thing you have other money, things you want to do. You rather spend the money, I mean, working on your health than to, I mean, having that fun you intended to, you plan to do with the money. So I think it's, if we're able to, I mean, set these digital boundaries, if you're able to, I mean, define what, I mean, leisure means to us, and we take and make time, and also now also mention the fact that we should be intentional about it. So intentionality is also like, I mean, another point to it. So be sure to take, I mean, some short breaks, some maybe short naps in between like your periods. If you're working remotely, try and put off your screen and just, I mean, lie down for some time and get back to work. If you're working in the office, you can pace around for some time. As Nana said, you can even go to the washroom, go and pee, go and do what you have to do, even have to wash your face. But try and walk around and don't be fully active, I mean, in what you're doing. Because once you do that, you actually put a stress on your nervous system, and it needs to like reset. I mean, leisure helps you reset and perform better. So as I said earlier, leisure is not a reward for productivity.
Right.
It's actually the aligning foundation where we can get sustainable productivity. Yes.
All right. Okay. Let me come back to you now. Now, do you have anything to add to that? Some basic things that people can do. Yeah.
Jose has exhausted the list. But what I will add is that take your lunch breaks.
Take what?
Take your lunch breaks.
Okay. Right. Some people actually sit down during lunch and lunchtime, and they're
some
still
people,
working.
they don't take their lunch breaks. At least if you have 30 minutes or 1 hour of lunch break at your workplace, there are people who are still behind their laptop. They take one scoop of rice, they are typing. They take one scoop of rice, they are sending a report, doing this. And there's no time allocated for you to fully zone out in the course of work. So please take your lunch break. Get up. If you have a canteen, go and sit there. Eat properly. Take that time as your zone out time. If you don't have the luxury of maybe every 2 hours, you will take some breather. Take your complete lunch break.
Okay.
Away from your desk, away from your screen, away from your phone. And it also has to be institutionalized. I like the fact that Osei mentioned that we should model leadership. If institutions begin to add rest and well-being to the fabrics of their what they stand for, it will be easier for their staff or other employees to actually also prioritize some of these things because it's part of the organizational culture. So allow those times to come in. Other companies are doing it now. Because I give examples. Even here in Ghana, some people are beginning to do it. Some people are having the nap rooms and then the couches at various parts of their company. You can just go and sit there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. There are companies, not in Ghana, but outside, they'll bring in stress pets, maybe stressed dogs that have been trained to cuddle people.
Wow.
And they come to the workplace. So maybe 1 hour a day, the dogs are around. You can take 5 minutes in the course of the day and just go and then cuddle a dog and come back, or a big teddy bear and come back. And we can add these things. We can also improvise it into our Ghanaian culture and see what resonates with us and what really defines rest when it comes to the organizational culture. So let's also make it institutional. Like allow your staff to go on leave. When they come requesting for their leave, please don't hold their leave. Let them go on leave. If you're an HR and for 6 months in the stretch, your staff have not come asking for leave, please send them an email reminding them they need to take a break. At least every quarter, take 5 or 10 days. Go and reset. Go home, rest, relax, and come back. That also helps.
Right. Okay. But does it have to be long? Does a leisure have to be long, or very short ones also are effective? And how short?
It doesn't have to be long. As short as 5 minutes. You can do a 5 minutes breathing exercise. You breathe in deeply, hold your breath, and then breathe out. By doing that, you are introducing new oxygen into your mind and your body, which resets the movement of blood, the chemistry of the brain, just within 5 minutes. Close your eyes, just breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, just for 5 minutes. That is also some form of leisure or relaxation for the brain. So if you don't have the luxury of doing the bigger things. Something as small as taking a 5 minutes breather or a 5 minute walk. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be something, mega and scary. Like I said, the very little things. And self-awareness also counts. When you know yourself, you know the things that help you zone out. And if you have not identified yourself yet on that level, then it means you need to seek professional help to help you discover yourself in those areas so that you can now come to terms with what your body resonates to as rest and how to establish that healthy relationship.
Okay, right. Let me come to Osei in studio. Now, Osei, is there anything you want to add to what Na has said?
Oh, I wanted to add the fact that the leave utilization. Yes, I think in some organizations people actually trade their leaves for extra income, which I think is something that should even be cancelled from the management level. As Na said, if you don't take that rest now, you're going to pay for it either in cash or in kind. So I think that is also a very important part that organizations, or let's say management or leaders of organizations, should really take into consideration. But I think that is the only thing I'll just emphasize on the leave utilization. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Our time is almost up and we have to go. Just a few of the messages that have come through this morning. Let me just read a few of them and then we can go. Now, this one is from Frank. It says that very good conversation. Thank you very much for having this on your show. Right. Thank you very much, Frank. Kindly let us know next time where you're texting us from so that we would appreciate that. And also this one is for Mansura, I think. Mansura says that great conversation. How can I start having leisure while I work? I think we've talked about that, yes, right? Yeah. So yeah, Mansura, thanks so much for sending your message. Okay, she's texting from Medina. Thank you. And also Davida says that good morning, Zed. Very important conversation this morning. Right. Thank you very much, Davida, for also sending that one. All right. So let me take your final thoughts and then I think we can go because our time is up. We've spoken about rest and the need for it. And if you're listening to us, I'm sure you've taken a thing or two so far. Let me just get the final reactions of my guests and then we can go this morning. So let me start with Na and then I'll come and end with you. So Na, tell us if there's anything we haven't spoken about that you want to touch on, please feel free to do that.
Okay. I think we've had an extensive conversation. I only want to add that we need to redefine the culture of well-being as Black people, as Africans, and this glorifying exhaustion and busyness. We need to look at it because when you study the lifespan of all other races, Black people have the shortest lifespan, and that is because we believe in working hard and not, working hard even to defy our own bodies and our well-being. When you look at other races, they take rest very seriously. Even in other neighboring countries around Ivory Coast and Co, they take 1 hour every day. The whole country is quiet. Even shops are closed everywhere between 12 to 1 p.m. The whole country, everybody should go and sleep. And it is a national thing. It's a culture that they have built there. So I think over time, if we redefine some of these narratives, not to become lazy, but then to also take into consideration the impact of some of these cultures on our health and well-being, and how to live a more quality life, give the best of ourselves to the people we love and the people around us, and how to also promote our own well-being, and even in the organizational level. So thank you for listening. Thank you for having me once again.
Thank you, Na. Thank you. Before I come to you, Osei, a few messages here. My attention has been drawn to Facebook. So this one is from Sly Dumba. It says that, good morning, watching live and clear from Akwabenya, Greater Accra region. Thank you very much, Sly, for sending your message. And also this one says, Yaira Kojo Tete says that, Charlie, we need rest to recharge. Organizations should organize recreational trips for staff. Nayabre. Right. Thank you very much for sending your message. And also this one is from Tina Moses. She says that very important discussions in there. And Theophilus King also says that, thank you, Zed, for these helpful conversation. this helpful conversation. Thank you very much, Theophilos and Tinamos, also for sending your message. Now, let me come to you, Jose, finally. Let me hear your final thoughts.
Okay, so what I'd want to say is, for anyone that's listening, if you're waiting for the cue or the signal to take that rest, take that break, take that vacation, I think this is it, because as we've said over the period of this conversation, if you don't pay it like it now, you're gonna like pay it later, either in cash or kind. So I'll just finish up by saying that please make time in between time to take that rest, take that leisure. If it's a trip, if it's you're going camping, you're going hiking, whatever you believe or you deem fit to call leisure, please partake in that activity to just calm and reset your mind, to come back recharge to do whatever work or whatever activity that you want to do. So I think I'll end my discussion here, and I also want to thank you guys for having me today on the show.
Thank you very much. Osei Asafo is an organizational psychologist, and also Na Okailo Kante, she's a psychologist and a mental health advocate. These are the two individuals who joined me this morning on our roundtable discussion for a very important conversation on the power of leisure in restoring mind and body. So we wrap up today. We're back again tomorrow for the Friday edition of the Business Breakfast on Z. I believe strongly that you've picked a thing or two from this conversation and you're going to begin to rest. Now, I want to wrap up with a quote by Mark Black. He says that sometimes the most productive thing you do or you can do is rest. Let me repeat that. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is rest. And so, very important conversation. We're back again, like I said, tomorrow at exactly 6:15 a.m. Please do well to tune in. Very important conversations coming up for you. But until then, keep listening to Z101.9 FM and make sure you rest. Up next is The Brighter Side with Jeremy Okoria Marco. My name is Nature B. Hammond. When you think Ghana, think Z. I'll see you tomorrow.